As less than the whole, he's possessing parts, correct?
I'll give you. I have to be very careful with my terminology, and I want to answer you, but just give me a second to be specific, okay?
Okay.
So, sure.
Your heart's going to be made of parts in a minute. Watch.
Just give me a second.
You know that time when you're just really tired, you're just crap, you just go insane. That's what's happening.
Okay. So I'm going to reaffirm the Sunni position that the attributes of God, such as power, will, and knowledge, are not identical to God's essence, nor are they separate, right? So that's what I'm saying.
They're not identical. Hold on. So they're indivisibly one. Hold on. Because I've read Ibn Taymiyyah's Oneness of God, and in his proposition 46, I believe, he talks about counting the attributes of Allah by division, right? Inseparability. So that's where the second part comes in. The first part then affirms that your Allah is made out of parts, because if it is not identical to the whole, it means it's less than the whole, because it's in union with the whole itself, which means your Allah possesses parts. Do you agree?
No.
Okay, then why is that not the case?
Okay, so look, I'm going to read it, and then you tell me what's wrong with it, okay? The classical position in Sunni scholars is that the attributes of God, such as power, will, and knowledge, are not identical to God's essence, nor are they separate from it. That their being non-identical returns to the manner in which each is rationally conceptualized in the mind. The reality of an essence is not the same as the reality of an attribute.
Okay, beautiful. So you've just affirmed what I initially said, which then, in a sound argument, implicates that your Allah is made up of parts. Hold on. Because you said, right, that the attributes...
Okay, look, let me give you an explanation.
I let you list...
You haven't even let me finish my point.
Yes, you did.
You're just over-interrupting me. Hang on. Okay, so would you say that... Okay, go ahead.
Okay, beautiful.
I don't want to. Go on.
Okay, so when I say whole, I say essence. So when the attributes of Allah are not identical to the essence itself, that would then mean that, in fact, your God possesses things that are less than the whole, which means he possesses parts.
No, we don't make that distinction. We don't say less.
You say, hold on, that quote is saying that the attributes are distinct from the whole itself.
Yes,
but in union in the whole as indivisibly one. I agree, you count the attributes by division, but that does not then mean that your Allah does not possess parts.
This is... I'm really sure.
Guys, okay. Listen. Your Allah possesses parts. Admit it.
Okay, an attribute. Okay, at the same time, an attribute is not other than the essence.
Yes, because it's indivisible.
In the sense of it being separate from it, which refers to an attribute not subsisting on its own. It requires an essence through which it subsists, right?
I agree. Yeah? I absolutely agree.
And an attribute being innate to its essence.
Yeah,
so an attribute is innate to an essence.
This is such a non sequitur. It's crazy to me. So, it subsists in the essence. I agree that's a subsistent relation. Mm-hmm. I then agree that it is indivisibly one because you count the attributes by division. But the attributes, you agreed, are not identical to the whole. Which means then...
So are you arguing... You're arguing a divine simplistic argument. Do you understand that? And that is a divinely simplistic...
This is my first point.
What?
And it's leading into an argument. So...
No. Why is this not a divinely simplistic argument? Because the Catholics could use the same against the Orthodox. They use the same argument against the Orthodox, do they not?
ADS, we affirm DS.
How is this not a divinely simplistic argument that you're saying that an essence can't have multiple attributes?
Does the Orthodox position hold to DS?
You tell me.
They do.
Okay, so what's that?
The distinction is ADS and DS. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I am simply posing that if you're not divinely simple, then your God possesses parts, my friend.
So you are affirming divine simplicity, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Not absolute divine simplicity.
Okay.
Oh, he's
affirming just... Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Hang on.
Can we get back to
you're affirming... No, now you're running. Because why are you affirming...
Running? This guy literally has been running from the fact that this guy God possesses parts.
Okay.
My friend, every time I say something against his Allah, he runs like a scared little boy because his Allah can't exist.
I'm still here.
Okay.
Am I running?
Okay. Then let's respond to Allah then.
Okay.
Because if I'm damned, you're damned as well, right? Because supposedly I don't affirm DS, that's fine, but you don't either, which means we both have the issue. That's a two-qual
So you agree you're arguing a Catholic position?
No, I'm not.
You agree?
Because they affirm ADS, I affirm DS.
And tell us the distinction.
Okay, so for example, they would affirm a virtual distinction between the persons and the essence. Or affirm a real distinction between the person and the essence. But the essence is the thing in question.
So you do affirm a real distinction. So could you not say that's parts according to your definition?
I'm not talking about the relations of the person to the essence. essence. I'm talking about relations between the attributes and the essence. This is where the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox position is not paramount to what you're saying. Now, can we please...
Sorry, just repeat that point. Repeat that point. I'm saying repeat that. I'm saying repeat that point. Repeat that point. Repeat that point.
So, we're talking about the relations of the persons to the essence. I'm talking about the relationship between these attributes and essence.
It's about the attributes. It's about the attributes and...
Hold on. Okay. I am saying, in both positions, we would hold to the position that the attributes are identical to the whole itself.
Okay.
You notice, guys, that...
Okay, hang on.
The
Catholics, as an argument towards the Orthodox, they say there is a lack of clarity in distinguishing God's essence and energies from the philosophical concept of parts, right?
Yeah, that's the distinction between these energies and these essence. Do you notice?
So how is that not
parts? You notice that is not talking about the attributes and the essence, because that's not a point of contention between the Catholics and Orthodox. Now, can you please accept that you're a Muslim,
sure,
and I'm an Eastern Orthodox Christian, and there's not a Catholic here debating?
No. The issue is that you come with your Catholic brothers, and then you say you're all brothers, but the Catholics are saying they worship the same God as the Muslims. The Catholics are saying they worship the same God as the Muslims, the same one true God, the same one true God. Why can't you accept that? Why can't you accept that?
This is literally a two-quote way.
It's not a two-quote way, because if I'm coming with, say, my brothers,
ladies and gentlemen,
and I have to, and he's worshiping, say if you're worshiping a different God, I can't come with you and argue against him, can I?
Listen. Respond to my point. Listen. If you don't respond about your Allah, you're scared of your Allah.
I am responding. I am responding in the limited knowledge that I have.
Your Allah possesses parts because you've literally identified that Allah's attributes are not identical to the whole itself.
So, I haven't affirmed that. I haven't affirmed the opposite as well. It's a very clear situation. It is a very clear situation that we don't completely disassociate the parts from the essence, but we don't completely combine the parts with the essence as well.
You understand, right? I'm not arguing that they're separate. They're just not divinely simple, right? They're not identical.
I can agree that it's not divinely simple.
I completely disagree with the notion that a God can exist and his attributes be really distinct from his essence, because then that would affirm that your God has passive potency, and that would also go against classical theistic arguments.
But the level of distinct. I haven't clarified the level of distinctiveness.
Ladies and gentlemen, every time
he likes to waffle. He likes to be smart. He likes to act smart. So go ahead. It's fine.
Every time you pose a classical theistic argument, such as the contingency argument, I am simply going to pose back that your Allah's parts are not our same. So therefore they're contingent.
Are you saying? Is your argument to its full conclusion? Is your argument to its full conclusion that we worship multiple gods? Is that your argument?
No, that's not my argument.
So what is it?
I'm not arguing that because you're Allah's part.
Because there is no church father, and there is no figure in early Christianity history which has said that Muslims are not monotheists.
So that's
so you're not arguing from your tradition.
I'm arguing that your Allah is imperfect.
Is imperfect?
Yes. Because I'm saying. I'll go back to that. So
on my God.
Hold on.
Okay, and your God.
Buddy,
wait, your God.
You stallmaned my position.
Your God. I've let him talk for a while. His God, which was tempted by Satan, right, is perfect, and our God.
Oh yes. Okay.
And that's divine.
Very simple. I'm going to argue, because if you say that again, you say something inflammatory. I'm going to say something about your.
No. I'm not.
You say something again.
I'm saying how is your God perfect when he was tempted by Satan?
I can tempt Allah. I'll be a Muslim if lightning strikes right now. That's temptation.
He did not fall into temptation.
No, but by the
temptation.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. The issue.
I can tempt Allah.
The issue. No. The issue is.
He's
getting scared now.
That's what he's
Look how long I let him
disqualified.
talk. Look how long I let him talk.
Now, ladies
Look how long I let him talk. He's not wanting me to talk now.
He said, right,
okay, I'm saying if his God is perfect, he should not be tempted.
That he's not a monotheist. I didn't say that.
So you agree that Muslims are monotheists?
That his Allah
they're going round and round in circles. You just got to take your time. He's not even arguing.
To perfection. Because I need to establish premise one, that his Allah is composed of parts.
That is a Catholic argument against Orthodoxy, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
My God is
he's going to do his research, guys, don't worry.
Could he say that against Allah and Tawheed? No! He would be a Shia. So if we were to talk about the differences between the Sunni and Shia, the Shia would bring the exact same argument against his Sunni tradition, that his God is not ontologically simple.
Okay, now
that's
can we
point one. Point two, Why would I say that his God is composed of parts? To establish that his God moves to a state of imperfection to perfection. What do I mean by this? Your Allah is powerful by the virtue of the part of the attribute of being powerful, which means there is a state of potentiality between his attribute and his essence, which means there's a passive potency. Passive potency directly implies imperfection.
Okay, we can talk about the fact that your God was tempted by Satan. How is that perfect?
Okay, so
hang on. Wait, talk to me.
Notice the red herrings, right? He is scared of his Allah. He's
I'm not
a
scared
sister
of
of
Allah.
Allah.
How am I scared? I let you talk and just
I
yell.
will answer. You're scared.
You came
You're
to-
scared.
I'm not scared.
Very
Okay,
simple,
guys.
ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to shout and then he's going to say that I'm interrupting him, so I don't want him to say that.
Allah, I will be a Muslim if I get a girlfriend and I have $1 million.
He doesn't even get married.
That's an external temptation,
dates.
ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
But that's not a disqualifier.
Hang on. Can I make my point? I haven't even made my point. Time to shut up then.
Fall for the temptation.
Okay.
No, he didn't. It's an external temptation. I've just tempted Allah to condemn Allah.
Can I talk now?
Yes.
I let you talk for God knows how long. Okay, so the fact is, in the Bible, always temptation. To explain to me what temptation is.
Yeah,
Temptation is the ability to sin, right?
Yeah.
The temptation is the
not.
ability. No. Okay,
it's
so
not.
tell me what it is.
Yeah, so temptation would be posing a motive for a desire.
So there can't be temptation without desire, right?
Or,
So
yeah,
I
a
can't
motive.
tempt you to do something if you don't have the capacity to
I'm
desire
talking
something.
about the agent committing the temptation.
No,
So,
I'm
hold on,
okay.
hold on, hold on. Listen,
No, it's fine.
listen.
It's fine.
I'm clarifying
He's
what
clarifying.
I mean.
He's clarifying.
I'm clarifying
Okay,
what
let's
I mean.
let's
So
clarify
I am
what
saying,
let's
when
clarify what
Satan
temptation is.
tempts Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Satan's jealous. He wants to be God. So of course he would tempt God. That's the motivation, and that's the proposition. That I am the God of humanity. That I am the God of this creation.
No,
here.
you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying not from the
Hold on.
perspective of the tempter,
Yeah.
but of the tempted. To be tempted to do something.
But fall into temptation. You've
Hang on.
identified it has to be falling into
Can I
temptation.
finish? Can I finish?
Yes.
Okay. To be tempted into doing something, you have to have the desire to be able to do the thing you're being tempted to do, right?
No, because
That follows by
hold on,
definition.
it doesn't.
Because I can't tempt the
It
try.
doesn't.
I can't tempt.
Listen,
I can't
bro,
tempt. Can
you're-
I
you're-
talk? Can I
you're
talk?
misunderstanding.
Is
No,
it
do you know
letting
why
me
I'm
talk,
being rude?
David?
Because you've
Is it letting me
straw
talk?
man. You
Tell him
literally
to
moved.
calm down. Tell your boy to calm down a bit. Yeah.
No,
No. Look,
No,
he's scared
listen,
for time. He's
bro,
scared for time.
listen.
Let him talk.
He's timing,
He's
it's
moved
timing.
the topic 3 times.
I know. Okay,
So
so
we will have a
here's what
time
we'll do.
discussion
Yep,
if it's about your Allah.
agreed.
Too long now.
If it's about your Allah, we'll have a time discussion. Because you're not
David.
scared of your Allah. Are you scared? Are you
Okay.
scared of your
Okay.
God?
Can I go? Can I
So,
go?
no,
Wait a second.
time
How
discussion.
many minutes are we doing?
So, 2
how-
minutes
2
about
minutes?
his Allah.
2 minutes?
About
2
his
minutes.
Allah.
Okay.
About his Allah.
No, because we've moved
About
topics.
his
We moved
Allah.
topics.
No, you haven't.
Start now.
You
Start
moved
now.
topics.
Okay, I'm not gonna
You
talk
moved
it.
topics. So David, if he is
David,
the moderator,
start again.
if you are the moderator, you would agree that
David,
it should
start
be
again.
about Allah.
Pause it and start again. Just have a decent discussion.
I'm calm.
About
I'm calm, bro.
Allah.
Look at what he's doing.
About
You're doing a really
Allah.
great job. You're doing a really great job.
You're doing a
About
great
no,
job.
hold
Everybody
on. So,
get the
ladies and
arguments
gentlemen,
across.
he has shifted the goalpost 3 times.
How many times?
He talked
I'm
about
happy.
Catholicism. I don't hold to it, but I would argue for the truth. He argued against Allah, to which he ran to, and now he's talking about Christ. Stick to a position,
Bro.
sir. You can't
Yeah,
defend
we'll
your
talk
own
about this
faith.
position. We talked
You
about
can't
the other
defend
stuff.
your faith.
I will talk. Can you
You
shut up?
cannot
Let him talk.
defend your
Let
faith.
him talk,
You're doing a
man.
great job. You're doing a really great
It's going
job.
crazy, bro.
Let him have his.
I know you're scared.
Okay.
Just take it easy. Okay?
You're scared of Allah.
Don't fall for stress. Okay, cool. So,
All right, let's go.
we're doing 2 minutes each. Now, listen. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Ultimately, you said 3 topics.
let me wrap
Wait
up
a
this
second,
topic,
Wait
yeah,
a second.
sure.
3 topics, and he has simply brought up topics against the faith. Now, you've asked him about Allah, and he hasn't answered you yet. So, carry on hammering away at it for as long as you like. Now, 2 minutes. He's gonna go, and you go. Yeah? Yay?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Say when.
Who goes first?
Say what. You go first.
Okay.
Say when.
No. Okay, so this last topic, I'm happy to revisit the topics he mentioned, but this last topic he's running away from it because he's shouting. So the point is that temptation, you can't tempt something if they have the incapacity to be doing that thing. So if they don't have the desire to do that thing. I can't tempt a tripod to jump because it doesn't have a desire to jump. So by the very nature, in the Bible where it says Jesus was tempted to sin, he must have had a desire to sin. And if he had a desire to sin, he cannot be God, because God cannot have a desire to go against himself. Because to sin is to go against God. So if God was tempted to sin, he cannot be God. There, I sacrificed the point.
You got 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. So let me just emphasize this point again and again, because he's never going to address it. You can't tempt a tripod to jump because the tripod itself does not have a desire to jump. You can only tempt something if they have a desire to do the thing that it's being tempted to do. So if in the Bible where it says Jesus was tempted by Satan, it's saying that Jesus was tempted, that means Jesus had a desire, and that desire could have succumbed to sin. So by that definition, God cannot be Jesus because Jesus was tempted to sin.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
So you need to.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm happy to sacrifice the time. Yeah.
So you have to make a distinction between falling through that temptation and external temptation. External temptation is a stimuli. I could tempt this tripod jump. It's not going to because it doesn't have the mental faculties or its nature is unable to be tempted. Just like Christ's nature. I could go to Christ and tempt him, but it is not in his nature to be tempted, therefore he did not fall through it. So, my challenge to you is find me in scripture where Jesus falls through a temptation. Second point, I can tempt Allah, and if that's how you define temptation, this is a disqualifier for your Allah. Allah, I want $1 million, then I'll become a Muslim. That is a temptation. You know through your Quran, Allah will not follow through because he has a conceptually perfect nature. Now let's talk about your Allah. You've ran away from the point. You've accused me of running, now you're running. Allah possesses attributes which are not identical to the whole itself, which means Allah possesses parts. If Allah possesses parts, it means, for example, the attribute of being powerful powers the essence, which means there's a state of potentiality, there's passive potency between the attributes of Allah and the essence. If there is passive potency, that necessitates imperfection, which means your God is imperfection. You cannot have two contradictory notations like your Allah is imperfect and your Allah possesses a conceptually perfect nature.
Done?
Yep.
All right. Say when.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so you mentioned that our God is imperfect, astaghfirullah, because he is composed of parts. I made it very clear to you that there's the essence and then there's attributes associated to that essence. They are not completely part of that essence and then they are not parts away from that essence. There is a relation there between the attributes and the essence, okay? And I've explained that to you multiple times. I'm not going to go over it again. The thing that you mentioned there about the nature, that didn't make any sense. I'm going to repeat the argument, and I don't understand how that disqualifies. Like, okay, so if you're saying that the tripod doesn't have the nature to comprehend. I'm happy for him to interrupt to clarify his position. Okay. So it doesn't have that.
So I can say to a tripod.
Yeah, possible.
Jump.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the mental faculties, or its nature is unable to follow through for that temptation. So I can pose an external stimuli.
Let's keep it calm. We don't have to do the timing. Let's just keep it calm, okay?
So
No, time is important. Because this is the last time.
Okay.
we can pose an external stimuli, being temptation, onto an inanimate object. That object won't respond. So it's not following through that temptation, correct?
So it's
starting.
Sorry, just restate that point.
So I can speak to an inanimate object.
Yeah.
It won't speak back to me, will it?
Yeah, no.
Beautiful. So if I say a temptation to an inanimate object, I am saying it to that object in question, but it's not going to follow through, correct?
But the issue here is that you're not tempting the object, because you can only tempt something that can comprehend the temptation, right, and can act upon that temptation, whether to reject that temptation or whether to accept the temptation. So when you're saying that you can still tempt the tripod, you can't tempt the tripod.
So I've got a question now.
Yeah.
You've had a dichotomy of it following through and it not following through.
Yeah.
So let's just say I pose God a temptation that does not follow through. Is that a disqualifier?
You pose God a temptation.
If I pose a temptation and
Yeah.
God does not follow through, is that a disqualifier for God?
But it says do not tempt God in the Bible.
Yeah, but if I do it because I'm sinful, I go against God all the time.
Sure.
So if I pose God a temptation and it does not follow through, is that a disqualifier?
you pose God a temptation and he can comprehend what you're proposing to him though, right?
But if he doesn't follow
But as the
through,
tripod cannot comprehend.
well, hold on. If it doesn't listen, the comprehension is a non sequitur. But if it doesn't follow
you mentioned...
Listen, buddy, if it doesn't follow... You brought up the tripod, by the way, not me.
Yeah.
So, if he does not follow through, is that a disqualifier?
As part... No, that's not a disqualifier for the temptation.
Does Christ follow through that temptation when he was posed against Satan?
Sorry?
According to Scripture, does Christ follow through to that temptation?
But you can't... Okay, well, the difference here is that you can't tempt God to sin. So that by
Yes,
itself...
I can. Allah, commit lust and I'll be a Muslim. Is he going to follow through?
But he's not succumbing.
gonna follow
He's not
through?
succumbing to the
Is he
temptation.
gonna
No.
Oh, exactly. Does Jesus follow through?
No. But sorry. Let me rephrase. I accept. I phrased it wrong. I accept
Does
that.
Jesus follow through?
Okay.
Which means he can still be God. Now, let's go back to your Allah. You stop the timer, not me.
Sure.
So, you are still saying he's indivisibly one. That's not my argument, my friend. I accept the premise that you profess monotheism. I don't care.
Okay.
Right? The understanding of monotheism.
Please ask him who's the God of Jesus in the flesh.
Siraj, I will carry you away.
Siraj,
I will carry you away.
stop.
Get out of here.
Siraj, you're an historian.
You're the source.
Jesus in the flesh.
Sorry.
Power, if you need your arguments from Siraj, you're on deep issue.
No.
Okay, so you've literally conceded on camera that that's no longer a disqualifier. So, topic one.
No. It's not. No, I did not.
Let me come back in for a second. Times. Who's going next?
Me.
Okay, 2 minutes. Starting now.
So beautiful. You've identified that it's not a disqualifier for God to be opposed to temptation and him not following through. I am asked, the burden of proof is on you to show me in scripture where Jesus follows through in a temptation. That's point one. Point two, I get, and this is where you're not tracking here, I understand that your God is indivisibly one. There are multiplications in God. I agree, right? Sorry, there's a noise in the background. It's disturbing me.
Yeah, that's
now, if we define parts as less than the whole, and the attributes are not identical to the whole, it means your Allah is composed of parts. He's still indivisibly one, but he's made of parts. Now, if he's made of parts, that means, for example, God is all-powerful through the virtue of the parts of being powerful, which means there's a passive potency in God, which necessitates imperfection, which is a contradiction in your Sunni tradition.
Still got time.
Okay, so the burden of proof is on you to demonstrate that God actually got followed through for his temptation. And if you keep on saying that's not the case, then your Allah has not been God for the last 5 minutes, my friend. Allah! $1 million, want it now, I'll be a Muslim. End the timer.
Okay, what I'm saying is, by that understanding of temptation, you're not tempting the God. You're not tempting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? You're just stating stuff to the air without it having the effect that you think it's having, okay? So they do that in the church tradition as well, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so why are you using that as an insult?
No, I'm not using it as an insult, rather it's an obtuse refutation of my argument. You know why? Because you're saying that I'm just saying things to God. What was Satan doing to Christ? Saying things. If you're saying that that's not the definition of temptation, good, you've refuted yourself again, because then that means Christ was not tempted.
Okay, so the reason that there was a temptation, right, was because there's two wills. There's Christ's will and then there's God's will.
But Christ
so
doesn't have
they're not.
Hold on. Now you just don't know our Eastern tradition.
Sure.
Christ didn't have a gnomic will. He didn't have sinful inclination.
Sorry.
He was
you're
the second Adam.
Eastern Orthodox, I accept it.
Yeah, Christ didn't have a gnomic will. He doesn't have sinful inclinations. He can't definitionally have that, which means again he's not tempted. You literally agreed, and now you're being a sophist, that under this precondition of how I'm tempting Allah, that's not definitionally temptation. Good. And in terms of Christ, that's not temptation either. Because if it's just a statement to someone, and if he doesn't follow through, that's not temptation. Christ wasn't tempted. The burden of proof is on you to show me in Scripture where he follows through with this statement.
Yeah. Okay, so what topic do you want me to address? You tell me.
Allah being imperfect.
Allah being imperfect. Okay. So as Muslims, we believe in a perfect God, right? I don't understand. Tell me why he's imperfect. Yeah?
Again, so let's just firstly agree on this point.
Okay.
Allah's attributes are not identical to the essence, correct?
I don't fully feel comfortable agreeing to that in the way. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
You literally just read whatever.
Yeah.
That they're not. So you agree to that, which means the attributes are less than the whole, which is what a part is.
But that is the step that you're taking another step that I'm not
taking a
necessarily
step.
agreeing to.
Wait,
Yeah.
if it's okay, this is a basic fact of
Sure,
mereology, right?
sure.
If it's not the whole itself, it's a part. Would you agree?
Well, you disagree to that yourself when you say that
I
Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and the Father are distinct from each other, but they're not parts of each other, right?
Yeah, because distinctions doesn't entail composition, especially when the ontology is divinely simple.
There, he answered the
Listen, my
point.
friend.
Distinctions do not entail composition.
Yes, but we would say that God is like the persons are fully
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
fully numerically identical to the essence of
And
God.
as
Hold
I
on,
said,
hold on.
as I said,
Listen,
the
listen,
essence,
listen,
the essence
listen,
of Allah.
Listen. Numerically identical to what God is, which means He's identical. If He's not, and He is less than the whole itself,
Yeah.
do you know what that means?
If he's one.
It's part, which means the attributes are a part. So, can you agree? Because if premise one,
okay,
hold on.
yeah.
Premise one is that Allah's attributes are not Him, not other than Him. This entails a real distinction between the attributes of Allah and the essence of Allah. Premise 3, the attributes are not identical to the essence. Conclusion, Allah's attributes are a part. Your Allah is composed of parts. Now, can you demonstrate how that's an invalid or unsound argument?
Okay, so are you saying that, like, say, I just want to clarify my position. Okay, so like the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right?
Yeah, it's not identical.
Are you saying that we as Muslims, we cannot as Muslims pray to that attribute?
That's not my point.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying there is one being of Allah composed of parts. Do you agree?
No.
Why not?
But I'm not. I don't
gave
feel
you-
fully
gave you-
comfortable.
I
I don't
gave you
feel.
an
Okay,
argument.
but there is distinct.
Just saying.
Okay,
I
okay.
disagree. Demonstrate how.
Okay. Look, okay. Let me explain. Like, okay, so you're composed of your will, your strength, your
But
your
by the way, bro,
Yeah.
listen. So this is like you're a composite, by the way. This is not identical. Your arm is not identical to the whole of yourself,
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely.
So you're a composite. You're made of a heart, lungs, a brain, right? Blood, parts, right? So I'm essentially saying, just as much as you're made of parts, Allah is made of parts.
No. That's not following. Would you
Okay,
say?
I
Would
gave
you
you
say?
an
Would you say?
argument,
Would you say that your will, your knowledge, is a part of you?
Yes, it's part of it.
It's part of you.
Yeah.
So they are distinct parts of you.
Yeah. Well, you would have
And
to
how
say-
do they relate to your essence?
Yeah.
Because your will, your
So-
knowledge is not part of your
because
essence, right?
mind begets will, and there is a substantiation of the universal human nature. Now, can we go back to the point?
Sure.
So, we define parts
Yeah.
as less than the whole. You said that the attributes are not identical or the whole itself, which means it's a part or lesser than the whole, which means your Allah is made out of parts.
No, we wouldn't.
Well, like, how many times do I have to repeat this
No,
until you
I
identify it?
understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
So you agree?
No. I'm saying I don't fully feel comfortable using that terminology.
Okay,
But-
I don't feel
yeah.
comfortable going to the park and being touched by Muslims. Doesn't mean I don't do it. So just admit it and be like a boy. Right? Be a man, right?
I will admit
Throw
it.
some boxes.
I
and
will
let's
admit
talk.
it when you admit that your God is the same God as the Catholics.
I mean, if you're saying it's like an extension or like a reduction of the fact that we share like a predicate of like professing the Trinity, sure. But again,
No, that was the original
let's not
topic.
change
That was the
topics.
original topic.
So-
Because he came to me and then he was.
Yeah, so
yeah.
if this is like a reduction of, for example, professing the Trinity, in that sense, sure. But now,
So sure.
in
So
that sense, sure.
Okay. So when the Pope says he worships the same God as the Muslims, you are accepting
I
you
would-
worship
I
the
would
same
agree-
God as the
I would
Muslims.
disagree because the rationale of the Pope is through that rationale.
So then you don't accept that you
Hold
worship
on,
the same
hold
God as the
on, hold on.
Catholics.
Listen to what I said,
Sure.
and then I want you to respond.
Sure.
If you're saying I share the same God of the Catholics because I share the reducible predicate of professing the Trinity, sure. Now, Pope aside, because I'm not a Catholic,
Yeah.
you're a Muslim.
Yeah.
Right? So, if Allah possesses attributes, and I've said this for the fifth time, and the attributes are not identical to the whole, and are less than the whole itself, that means it's a part.
I mean, you've said it a few times. From my limited knowledge, I'm not going to, on this specific topic, I'm not going to engage further from my position, right?
Wait,
from
so you'd like to talk about the God?
Because I don't want to fall in.
Hold on. So let me get this right.
Sure.
You want to talk about the Catholic God, but you won't talk about Allah.
No, I'm saying
Wait, so talk about
that it's frivolous
Talk
because
about
you okay. For the first thing is the issue that Christianity fell into was it started to adopt Hellenistic philosophy. Right? So the reason is that we're not gonna. I'm not gonna get lost in this logic because
talk about the Catholic position, then he is to talk about Allah.
No, I'm saying
I
don't want to.
Principle, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm 16. If you're committing a polemics, you should be familiar with your own position.
Yes, but I'm saying I don't want to.
And I know
hang on.
that to be true.
Okay, fair.
So
Hang on.
Position
What I'm saying is
from the
Sunni Islam position. This is my position that I'm not gonna get.
Defend your position. Don't say you believe in it. Defend it.
And I'm defending my position by these discussions. They just go into philosophy, and just because you may make a point from a philosophical concept that looks like it's more appropriate than my point, doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good way to get to God.
That's just word salad.
No, it's not. It's not a way to get to God. It's not.
Hold on.
No, what I'm saying is,
the definition
in our
of
history,
philosophy is love of wisdom. Are you saying the love of wisdom removes the possibility of knowing God?
I'm saying Aristotelian logic is not a way to get to God.
Oh, by the way,
the way to get to God is through divine revelation.
Buddy.
Yeah.
So, quick notion for you, pal.
Sure.
If you're discussing other people's faith,
Yeah.
learn about yours.
No,
about philosophy.
Yeah.
Is Ibn Taymiyyah a theologian?
Yes.
Is that about philosophy?
Sorry?
Theology.
No. I'm saying there is aspects
you
where
said
you can use philosophy,
Okay.
right? But
So,
I'm saying
when I read in Ibn Taymiyyah's Oneness of God,
Sure.
which talks about the relationship between Allah, His attributes, His essence, and how
Yeah.
He's indivisibly one.
Yeah.
That is covering the topic that I'm critiquing today.
Yeah.
So, if you want to condemn me, condemn Ibn Taymiyyah.
Yeah, and my position is Ibn
Wait, so condemn Ibn Taymiyyah.
But I'm saying,
to me.
but I'm saying what you're saying,
Yeah.
where you're trying to argue this from this perspective,
Yeah.
that is not necessarily the way to God. Like the way to God, just by
that is
having.
not only is that word salad,
Yeah.
right? Not only is that appealing to like an ambiguous statement, you're just poisoning the well, right? Do you think the people at the corner, it's like a salvation issue to be at the park? Most of the people here aren't practicing.
No, I'm
hold
talking.
on.
Yeah.
The most fruitless place you can ever be
Yeah.
is Speaker's Corner at sometimes. Sometimes it will be fruitful, sometimes it's not.
Sure.
So you saying it's not a good way of going to God, don't come to the park, my friend.
No, I'm saying trying to understand God's essence from a philosophical angle is not a good way to understand
Do you
God.
agree with this statement? That Allah sent the Quran through Jibreel
Yes.
and was written into the Mus'haf.
Yeah. The Suhuf,
That
and
is
then
a
the Suhuf
that
turned
is-
into the
That is
Mus'haf.
a
Yeah.
metaphysical statement which deals with the philosophy of the Quran. Do you know why? Because in that statement, you have affirmed Allah being indivisibly one,
Yeah.
that Jibreel is a created spirit, distinct and separate from Allah,
Yes.
that Allah anointed the prophethood of Muhammad,
Yes.
and that the Mus'haf is distinct from the eternal Quran, or the uncreated Quran. I don't know what position you hold to.
Uncreated Quran. Uncreated Quran.
So,
Yeah.
you've just done philosophy. Back to the statement.
No. I'm saying.
You've just done philosophy.
What I'm saying. I'm saying. Hang on.
made a distinction.
I'm saying to try and understand the nature and the essence of God through philosophy is not an appropriate
made a
way to
philosophical
understand.
statement
You
against
understand
Allah's
the
essence.
essence and nature of God
You just
through
made-
divine revelation.
Listen, we can end the conversation here if you're just not tracking, that's fine. But you have just made a statement
No,
against Allah's essence.
Why?
Allah's essence is separate from Jibreel, his spirit.
Yes.
Is really distinct from the speech of Allah, and the speech
But
of Allah
we're not- but that-
is not identical to the Mus'haf.
Through logical deduction, you can separate like the concept of Allah
Okay,
subhanahu
how
wa
about
ta'ala
logical
from the rest
deduction?
of creation. But I'm saying to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can't use Aristotelian logic to understand
You're
Allah.
just poisoning the well. Because you're just saying that so you're right.
No,
Yes,
that's
you
a
are.
Sunni Islamic position that we shouldn't
Okay.
use
philosophy.
Aristotelian logic to understand the essence
Do
of
you know
Allah.
what Aristotelian logic is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, it's like the logic of Aristotle. I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't have to give full-on definitions
I
right
hold
now.
to classical logic.
Yeah.
Law of excluded middle,
Sure.
law of identity,
Sure.
law of non-contradiction.
Yeah.
I am appealing to the law of non-contradiction. Now, are you saying that your theologians would disagree with the law of non-contradiction?
That our theologians will disagree with the law of non-contradiction.
You disagree that the law of non-contradiction is a notion which stipulates that there cannot be a P and not P in the same relation in the same time. You reject that that is not true.
Well, how does that apply? From Christian position, you don't believe that either.
What do you mean we do?
Okay, so repeat that. That there is a
Buddy,
P.
buddy,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you, is the notion true that there cannot be a P and not P in the same respect in the same time? And if you cannot answer this question,
But that
you
is-
are not
no, no, no,
learned-
no,
hold
no.
on, hold on. If you cannot answer this question, I would say you're not learned in your faith to discuss against Islam or Catholicism or Eastern Orthodoxy.
No, I'm saying from hang on. From your position, I'm trying to
No.
say, are you being hypocritical? Because you believe that Jesus is God, right?
Yeah.
And you believe Jesus is a man,
Yeah.
right? How does that fit with any
Okay,
part of
logical
Aristotelian
contra-
logic?
I'm going to answer your question.
Yeah, sure.
Then I'm going to call you a coward and leave the conversation. So, we define a P and not P as a P and not P in the same respect in the same time. Jesus Christ's humanity, his sense of predication, appointed to humanity, is in respect to his human nature, not in respect to his divine. It'd be a logical contradiction to say there is one nature which shares contradictory predicates. Rather, we ascribe it of two distinct natures. So, I beg you today, I believe you're not learning.
Wait, sorry. I'm just simply saying that our understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? We understand that through divine revelation. We never secede to Aristotelian logic, no matter
You
how
didn't
good
even
it
know
is.
what. Brother,
Okay.
I don't even know
Okay,
what you're
but
saying. Aristotelian logic.
Okay,
my
I'm
friend.
saying logic,
So,
like
you are not learned.
Hellenistic.
Listen.
Okay, I'm
You
not
are
learning. I'm not learning. It's
You're
okay.
not
It's okay.
learned
It's okay.
Allah,
All right.
You're not learned in Tawheed. You're not learned in Catholicism.
Sure, if you
You're
wanna
learned
say
in
it.
Eastern Orthodoxy.
Sure.
Right? You have spent an hour of my time demonstrating.
You
none
came
of
up
your
to me.
points,
You came up to me.
self-refuting, contradictory notations.
You came
which
up to me.
destroy your faith and actually reinforce mine. So thank you very much, my friend. I beg you, big day.
All right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you.
Well, the God that's made
and
out
the
of
hatred
hearts
in your heart of Islam, leave. Okay? No, he has hatred of Islam. Look at the way he's talking.
Brother, I love you.
No, you don't. You don't
Listen,
love me. You don't love me.
if you were to come up to me and said, "Can I have a Bible in church?" I would take you to church on Sunday and give you a free Bible.
No, that's not love. That's not love.
Brother, I truly love you.
No, you don't love me.
Because I believe.
Because look at the way you've talked throughout this conversation. Look at the arrogance that you've talked with. Look at the way you've dismissed me. Yeah, but that's not good, man. You're a young man. I'm willing to. I wouldn't have engaged in this conversation if you weren't.
Listen,
Yeah.
I apologize if I seem as arrogant,
Yeah.
if I seem as aggressive. Now, I will admit I hate Islam, right? I admit that. I don't hate you as a Muslim.
Sure.
I will 100% always admit I hate Islam, but I love you. Right? I love you as a human individual. Now, if you were to come to me off camera and say,
I was off camera, and you came up to me, and then you brought your camera.
You literally asked if you wanted this discussion on
Yeah,
camera.
sure.
So, if you were to come up to me and ask me, I'm thinking about joining Christianity, brother, I would hug you, give you a Bible, and take you to church, right? But I think Islam is killing you.
But why? Look, why? I don't know. But like, why do you have so much hatred towards a religion that is bringing so much beauty to the world and so much peace to the world? Is your own traditions recognize the beauty of Islam. Like I mentioned, the Pope has been working on he's been working very closely with Muslims to try and bring unity between us. We don't need this hatred. We don't need all of this. We just want to make the world a better place.
When has the Pope ever said that there's beauty in Islam?
Yeah, I can pull out the quotes if you want. Yeah. Okay, no.
Back to the
Okay,
debate.
sure.
I wish you good day. I hope you learn about Tawheed because it's kind of cooked theologically. Now, if you were a Shia, different discussion, kind of a bit more competent.
It's not cooked. It's basically what I'm saying is that we don't engage in frivolous philosophical talk, okay? And why is it not frivolous?
Well, you had the conversation with him for more than an hour, right?
Sure.
He's tried to explain the point to you, but you've been going around in circles. Again, I haven't been here long enough to fully deduce it, sure, but I don't know, that's what I've seen.
Okay.
Good job, bro.
Listen,
No, I mean, from a Sunni,
I
from,
don't
no, it's not
really-
about learning a bit more. It's about from a Sunni, and you agree,
Listen.
from a Sunni position,
Yes.
we shouldn't delve into these topics too much, right? Do you agree?
Listen, I literally just showed you that you do.
No.
So listen, bro. Listen, I hope you are not radicalized or stigmatized by the Christian position. I really don't, right? I hope you actually think that Christianity is more coherent of an account of God. Don't be. Listen, right?
Yeah, sure.
If you think I'm arrogant, if you think I'm rude, that's probably the case. Don't think that of
So
Christianity.
why can we talk like this?
Listen,
before?
don't think of that of Christianity.
Why
Think
not?
of that of me, right? Christianity is not arrogance, right? You may think that of me. That's fine. Blame me.
No, I'm not. I don't
say that of
associate. I don't
Christianity.
associate Christians with being arrogant,
Okay,
right?
beautiful.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you perspective.
Okay,
Yeah. Sure.
condemn me, right? I don't really.
Yeah, no,
care
but
what
I'm saying
you
it's
do.
fine now. We could have had this discussion like this, but you're playing up to the cameras. I understand. But, yeah. Yeah.
Ladies
Just,
and gentlemen, that was
sorry.
My friend, the thing is, you weren't listening to you, weren't
Yeah.
believing him. You feel me? Like you kept saying, for example, we're not meant to use philosophy. What do you mean we're not meant to use philosophy?
No.
We're not
Okay.
God.
Sorry. I'm just. Okay. What I was saying is, we're not meant to use philosophy to understand God's essence. Because that is not the appropriate way to understand God. Because, okay, there's plenty of reasons why. One example why is because, say, like me and you are having a discussion. We're having a discussion. You come up with philosophical concepts that make your position seem more rational than mine. You win the argument. No, I'm saying.
Do you know why? You can just bring your own philosophical aspects of it and just give me a rebuttal, and you could win the argument.
Yeah.